As many of you will know, Downtown in Business has been a big supporter of business improvement districts across Liverpool. Over the next month or so, there's going to be a vote on whether we should have an accommodation bid in the city, and I'm delighted to join me to discuss the pros of such an approach with Marcus Magee, who is the co-chair of Liverpool Hospitality. Marcus, great to see you today. So tell us a little bit more about how this proposition has come together.
Thanks for having me, Frank. I was always appreciative of your support. If we go back in time to 2002, where in the city of Liverpool we had about 10 hotels with about 2,500 bedrooms. And then we moved to the City of Culture year in 2008. We had an additional 10 hotels with another 900 bedrooms. Then we moved to 2019, where we had about 7,700 bedrooms with about 75 hotels. We now sit here today where we've got 85 accommodation providers with just under 11,000 bedrooms. So you can see where the trajectory has been for the bedrooms coming into the city. The key challenge we've had is how we ensure that we're generating enough footfall into this great city to fulfil the occupancy necessary for the profitability of the businesses within our sector. So that is where the journey we've been on. As you're well aware, for many years we've had many discussions about what would be an appropriate funding mechanism to help support the sales and marketing of Liverpool and the wider region. Also incorporating into that the money that's needed for subvention for the ACC to attract the big conventions and associations into the city. And the challenge we've had is we've had many discussions and many options, but we've never really been able to get a final decision as to what the best option was. We decided that with the existing bid offering in the city, as you're aware, we have two existing bids, the leisure and retail bid, which has been in place for 18 years now, and there was the commercial district bid, which came in closely after that. That was renamed in 2021 to the culture and commercial bid, and they have about 1,000 levy payers, which generate over 2.75 million of investment into the area, which obviously with that kind of money, it was certainly looking at that business model and understanding if that would be a good proposition for us, and that's exactly where we are. We believe the bid model is appropriate, it's robust, and can give us a good sound base to ensure whatever we embark on, we've got an infrastructure to manage it.
And in terms of some of those benefits that you see coming from a successful bid that takes in your sector, what would be some of the things that you think that investment could be utilised for?
The first most important one is the subvention for the ACCL, that as we know, when the convention centre, the ACC, came to being in 2008, there was a commitment from the City Council to provide in excess of £1 million subvention, but that was on a 10-year plan. So after 10 years, which was 2 years or so ago, that would cease to exist. So any time they require money, they are going to the city or the combined authority looking for monies. Now that is no method, and there's no, it's not robust enough, and there's no longevity in going out for handouts every time you need money to fulfil the opportunity of bringing a big piece of business to the city. So being able to have a fund to give them the appropriate money they can work with is key. Otherwise, we're going to lose out on those opportunities. There's other elements of how we sell the city with big sporting events, cultural events, small meetings and conference events. These are all factors that attract footfall to our great city, and that's exactly where we need to be putting our opportunities.
Moving away from the subject slightly, but bit of good news for Liverpool, well, great news actually. We're going to host the Eurovision Song Contest in 2023.
Yeah.
So what sort of impact does that have?
Number one, we all know that it's become one of the global iconic events in music. And love it or hate it, it brings significant value to any city that it's been into or has been part of. Looking at the economic value, it's huge. The guideline is that it will bring 100,000 extra visitors to the city leading into it. That there is the opportunity of we will be on the global stage, which is incredible. And they will be televised all over the world. And the statistics tell us that the leisure business and the leisure trade for any city has been in historically, the event has been in historically, has generated up to 15-20% more in leisure visitors, which that's what we need to embrace and ensure we get the most out of.
Phenomenal. And just in terms of where we've just come from, which was a hellish period for your industry sector, all businesses, but in particular hospitality, are we starting to see a little bit of a bounce back in Liverpool at this moment in time?
We've got a lot to be positive about. I think the challenge we have is that we already see a downturn in occupancy in 2019 in the fourth quarter. And there is a statistic that the accommodation provider businesses, their profitability reduced by about 5.5%. And the bedroom stock in that same period, 18 to 19, increased by 6%. So you know where the challenges are. I think that we've got to be very mindful that with the increase in bedroom stock and with the challenges that businesses have with cost suppression, whether that be through food costs, liquor costs, operational costs, payroll, utility, all these elements are headwinds that we need to manage. So it's not just our hospitality sector, it's all businesses are having the same problem. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot to be positive about. As you said, we've got Eurovision, we've got the Open Championship, we've got the Labour Party conference, and this city is driven by events. And that's why the ABID will be, I believe, a key step forward in giving more funding to ensure that we can be on the stage to attract those kind of business.
So the people who will decide whether this bid is established are the people that are your peers, your colleagues.
Yeah.
You, I know, have been consulting with them widely over the past year or so. It seems longer, to be fair. What's the message to them as they prepare to vote yes or no as far as this bid is concerned?
We have 85 people, businesses, in the voting mechanism, hereditaments, as Bill likes to technically describe them, that we are in a situation where, having discussed many years as to how we move forward and never really come to a conclusion, this is an opportunity for our sector, our businesses to come together, to invest in a model that will give us money, but give us opportunity to be of a serious influence at city level and the combined authority level, that we are prepared to put skin in the game. Over the 5 years, the first 5 years, we will generate £4.3 million, but we will also be ensuring that there's commitment, continuous commitment from the combined authority and the City of Liverpool to ensure that they're investing in alignment with our commitment. Because obviously the critical factor here is that our members, the 85 businesses, they are being asked to contribute in year one 1.6% of their rateable value. Then in year 2 and 3, it goes up to 4.5. Then in year 4 and 5 goes up to 5.5%. So it's a considerable amount of money. I mean, to generate that profit, we've got a cap at 50,000. So if you take that 50,000, that is profit. You would have to generate in the region of 150k, 200,000 in sales to generate that. So it's a big commitment. Our message to our members is that we have the opportunity to have more of a handle on our own destiny. And the challenge is, if we don't commit to this, where we are going to go. We've already seen a downturn in occupancy at the end of 2019. We've already seen certain dips in occupancy in recent times. We need to ensure that through our support and our investment, that we have a robust sales and marketing strategy that can generate the footfall that's needed for our businesses to flourish over the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Marcus, thanks very much. So we've heard from Marcus Magee, the co-chair of the Hospitality Association in Liverpool. Delighted to be joined by Bill Addy, who's the chief executive of the Liverpool BID Company. Bill, we were just chatting through some of the benefits that this accommodation bid may bring to Liverpool. How optimistic are you that we're going to get that vote through in a positive way?
I'm always an optimistic person, as you know, but I appreciate there's very difficult times for hoteliers at this moment. We've had COVID, we've had slight recoveries from that. Last year was very good, but looking at the autumn now and what's happening into the future, then it's a very difficult landscape. When you read the news and hear the news today, the Bank of England predicting the longest recession in history, although it won't be as deep as thankfully some of the recessions, but we're moving into a period with uncertainty, recession, increased costs. So hoteliers are very concerned about their bottom line. And of course, a levy adds on to their bottom line. But the other important thing, and Marcus has I know said this, is that the hotels need to work together to deliver a fund which will ensure they fill their rooms. So I think the majority of hoteliers in Liverpool do work together. We've seen that with Eurovision, when all the hotels, bar the one or two sort of heavily publicised exceptions, work together to deliver a programme of rooms for BBC that allowed us to bid for that. Hoteliers do understand that they need to work together if they want to secure their future. So I am optimistic that we will get across the line.
And I suppose, what I will be saying to hoteliers, as I say to the people who vote for the retail bid and those who vote in the commercial and cultural district, is that you get that return on investment. And if you just look at the amount of work that the bid does in and around the city already with the existing two bids that I've just mentioned, then you can see that that is a significant return. And what we hope to do with this fund, I guess, is ensure that we've got a consistency of approach in terms of ensuring that throughout the year, there are attractions in Liverpool to bring those visitors in and to fill those beds.
You're quite right saying that the businesses do see the benefits they get from the work of the two bids. Just in destination marketing alone, the current bids are delivering over £500,000 into the single investment funds that the local authority, the combined authority have granted to the city. That £500,000 investment from the two bids delivers over £3 million in total across the city region that is spent on destination marketing and also on subvention. So that's the key to it. And the money that will come through the A bid, which is about 4.3 million, and then when you add it to the SIF that's already been approved in addition, it's about 1.2, so it's £5.5 million will be spent to support the large conferences. So those events such as Eurovision, but also more importantly, such as the Labour Conference that is coming back in 23. That's those large events at the ACC. It will also support smaller events in smaller conference centres and in hotels. Also, more importantly, it will continue to support sporting events. So we have World Gymnastics here at the moment. That comes here because Liverpool is able to support it and because the hoteliers are able to support it. And the fund will also deliver and support destination marketing. So it covers all of the drivers that we need to ensure that the demand for the hotel rooms is good, that ensures that occupancy rates are kept high, and ultimately so rates can be kept high for hotels so they can weather the storms that's coming and come out of this as a very strong regional provision of hotels.
Just talk me through the mechanics of the vote, because I understand ballots have been issued. Yeah. So how long do people have now to return those ballots, and when will we know the result?
So the ballots for the accommodation bid went out from Civica, which is the Electoral Reform Society. So it's being sent from London. So it's a centrally managed election, so it's completely independent. They went out on Wednesday, the 26th of October. To land on the 28th of October, Friday the 28th. And the ballot is open for a 28-day period until 5 p.m. on the 25th of November. That's the final cut-off. And if a ballot paper is not received back into Civica's offices by 5 p.m. on the 25th of November, it's discounted, it's void. Those ballot papers went out to 86 hotels and accommodation providers across the city of Liverpool that have a rateable value of 45,000 or higher. That's the people they've gone to. Majority of the hotels, the 86, will have received notifications beforehand, but those papers will be with them now for them to sign on physical paper, put it back in the envelope and send it back.
So 25th of November is the result. And then how quickly do we establish the ABID, presuming we're going to be successful, and get to work on this programme?
So the work of the ABID it's not something that we've just decided recently. This has been working for years, working very closely with, as previously Marcus has just been explaining, working very closely with Liverpool Hospitality and with Marketing Liverpool. So we have a lot of the structure in place. The ABID will be managed through Liverpool BID Company, so it runs through our same systems. We're aiming to have the ABID in operation, so levy bills sent out from the 1st of January of 23.
Brilliant.
And the first bid period will run through till 31st of May 27.
So it's a 7-year.
4.5 years, May 2027.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're in 2020,
Yeah.
honestly. I slept through those 2 years ago.
Time's gone so quickly.
Final thing I'll ask you about, because I touched on this with Marcus, and it was some great news for the city, which again, I know the bid was very instrumental in terms of supporting and getting over the line, and that's the Eurovision win. Yeah. You've referenced it briefly yourself, but what a fantastic opportunity that is for Liverpool.
It's a great opportunity, isn't it? And I'm just delighted that the bid, when we were asked, when the bid, the guys who were putting the bid together, Claire McColgan and her team, when they rang and they said, we actually need some financial support from the private sector, can you help us? And the bid were able to help. And so my board supported that, so we've contributed financially to it. And we will also continue to contribute during the next 6 months as we move towards delivering it. And it's actually a proper public-private sector joint bid that went in for Eurovision. And it wouldn't have happened. I know that it happened, yes, because of the city, but also know it wouldn't have happened without a business improvement district that was able to step up and realise that it needed to contribute, which we did. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be great, tremendous for the city.
For sure. Any truth in the rumour that you're going to be the British song?
I was thinking about it. I have been practising. Thanks, Frank.
You're the one who's on stage.
I can do that.
We'll do Z-Cars.
Yeah.
No, Spirit of the Blues.
Spirit of the
That's
Blues,
what we'll do. So listen, if you are part of the accommodation community in Liverpool, look out for your ballot paper, get it returned. Our recommendation from Downtown in Business is to support the bid, because we're very well aware of the great work that the Liverpool BID Company do already in the commercial district, in the retail district of the city. And we can just see the added value that we'll get once the accommodation bid is in place. So I'd urge everybody to, as I say, get those ballot papers back, hopefully with a tick in the right box. And next year we can get to work on a really exciting programme to bring even bigger and better events to Liverpool. If you enjoyed that video, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel on the link below and be among the first to get to listen to all the latest interviews through the Downtown Den.